Okay folks, I hope you're ready for the Shadow Temple, because if you thought the bottom of the well was scary, wait till you get a load of this. So, first we're going to come right around the corner here and see a nice bottomless pit. What a way to greet us. So, we've seen these before in the Water Temple, these targets here to use our long shot on. Just hook into them and they will bring us across the chasm. Again, my recommendation there is to try to aim high on the target, just to make sure you grab onto the ledge. And we approach this, what appears to be a wall here. The shadow will yield only to one with the Eye of Truth handed down in Kakariko Village. So we know what that means, the Lens of Truth. Just activate that and look at that false wall. We can pass right on through. Okay, so basically anywhere you see these walls with that weird skull looking face on it there, that's generally an indicator that you should check it out with the Lens of Truth or try talking to it. Now this room is full of them, so most of them are fake outs. However, this one back here in this back corner, that is actually a false wall. So, pass through here. One who gains the Eye of Truth will be able to see what is hidden in the darkness. So once again, Lens of Truth time. Alright. And over on this side here, another hidden wall right away. You can go around the left side, but if you do that, it'll take you basically to the same area on the back side, but you'll completely miss that that hidden wall on the right there. Shadow Temple here has gathered Hyrule's bloody history of greed and hatred. Oh wow, that's not spooky and creepy at all. And here's another one here. Shadow Temple here has gathered Hyrule's bloody history. Okay, hatred. Okay, same thing, same thing. Let's see if I can just find some magic here. Meter's getting a little bit low. Okay, apparently not. Let's keep moving. Yeah, same thing, same thing. I guess this is like the crypt or something. And right away, we've got ourselves a nice re-dead. Our handy Biggoron sword made short work of him. And I hear the telltale flapping of key swings. So, let's see if we can just take them over the long shot. A little bit harder when they're moving around like that, but oh, if you can line it up. Fine. I'll get my bow out. I know I'm just being lazy, but what can I say? Alright, so now that all the enemies in the room are defeated, first big chest appears right off the bat. Don't forget to pick up those arrows if you need them. And probably the dungeon map. It's usually the map. It's the first one, yep. There we go. And while I'm here, I'm just going to look around with my Lens of Truth here, just to make sure that I'm not missing anything. Doesn't look like it, no. We still don't have the compass yet, obviously, so we can't tell yet if there's any hidden chests. Remember, the compass will show you chests, even if they're invisible. And you don't think to be using your Lens of Truth here. What is hidden in the darkness? Tricks full of ill will. You can't see the way forward. Okay. Just keep moving. Whoa, that was close. I was about to say, oh, I'm going to have to accept a hit there because I got my Biggoron sword out. And remember, you can't dodge. Or I should say, you can't block. You can't block with your shield. While you've got the sword out, you just do that move. However, I was able to duck under it, so that was convenient. The spirits on the walls just keep saying the same thing to me over and over again. Simultaneously creepy and obnoxious. Alright, I think maybe here in the corner? Yep, there we go. And I think there's a dead hand in here, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, the dead hand. So we already encountered this guy here in the bottom of the well as a child. We know what to do. Just rapidly tap one of our either A or B button here, and then get ready for the guy to come up close to you. Charge up our Biggoron sword. Whoa. That did some pretty substantial damage there. Look at that. It was so strong we even took out one of those arms. They do regenerate there, though, so be cautious of that. Look at that. Oh. Man, that charged Biggoron sword spin attack is pretty lethal. The pulsing. I just never get over that pulsing. Alright. And look at this. Already we're getting this dungeon special item. We are progressing pretty quickly. You got the hover boots. With these mysterious boots, you can hover above the ground. The downside, no traction. You can even use these to walk for short periods where there is no solid ground. Be brave and trust in the boots. So just to give you a little demonstration here, if we equip them next to our iron boots that we're using pretty heavily for the water temple. Now with the hover boots, look at that. Little wing-a-ling-dinged boots. So you can see now, if we let go, we slide a little bit. So we got like no traction, and we start up a little bit slower too, because it takes us just a second to gain that friction there. So basically we don't want to just wear these around the dungeon. We'd want to just equip them only when we need them. Let me just again get out my lens of truth here to make sure no hidden chests that I'm missing. I don't think so. Okay, looks like we're good. Alright, so this might be giving you the false impression that this is a really small dungeon, given how quickly we're making our way through here. But I promise you, it is significantly more substantial than this. Alright, we just had to come back this way just to grab those two items there, the map and the boots. Alright, so now, you will see here, across the way here, is another one of these bottomless pits. And the exit out of here is blocked by a gate. Now, if we read what this sign here says, only one who has sacred feet can cross the Valley of the Dead. So that is our clue that we can use the hover boots to actually hover right across this chasm. Again, you don't hover for very long. It's maybe only like a second, actually. Now that doesn't sound like much, but in cases like this, it's actually just enough to get to where you're going to want to go. So. Don't write them off. Actually, before I equip them, though, I forgot that I need to raise that gate. And the way you do that is by this here. Now, you can see there's this column here in the middle with a board protruding out from the center of it here. And it says, "Make my beak face the skull of truth." And what that's a reference to, oh, say here, the alternative is descent into the deep darkness. Now, I'm just going to step off momentarily here, just to avoid an accidental plummet to my death, because that's actually the trap in this area here, is you see how there's these pillars around the circle with these skulls on top, but if we activate our lens of truth once again, you'll see that almost none of them are actually there, except for one. So what we want to do is use that protrusion there, that spiky wall, as a lever, and we can actually push this column in the middle around in a circle, and we want to keep doing it until, like it instructed us to, the beak of this spooky looking specter up top here faces that skull that is the real one. And we want to make sure that we do a good job of it, because if we stop short and take too long, actually what happens is this entire floor ends up disappearing and right out from beneath us, and we fall into another bottomless pit. So, approach the wall, grab, and push. And don't stop. So we stop. It looks like we stopped there for a moment because it wants us to lock in on that position, but just keep pushing forward. And we'll stop here. And that should be good. There we go. Opened up the gate. So we're good to go there. Equip our newly acquired hover boots. And if we just hit it at a nice straight-on, head-on angle and at full speed, that should give us, look at that, just enough. See, it shows we're falling there because it's only about a second of hovering there, as I said, that we get, but that was just enough. That was all it took. Alright, moving onward. Come on down this way. Okay, we got ourselves a Beamos up ahead. Those guys are easy enough to take out. You can blind them with Deku Nuts, you may recall, or you can just toss a bomb their way. And yeah, sometimes if you hit them right on, you can take them out immediately. Or if it just kind of lands at their feet, it'll only stun them momentarily. And you can take them out with a second bomb. Abby's pointing this out here as a point of interest for some reason. And we are apparently blockaded with these three walls here. So, once again, we'll get out our lens of truth. Okay, so that is still a real wall, but that's a fake one, and that's a fake one. So, let's try this. Let's first go into the left side. Ooh, big spinning scythe. We've encountered those before. So make sure you're moving through at a good clip so that those blades don't grab you. And again, it's one of those puzzles there where you're going to want to pick up the 5 silver rupees. So we've got 2 there already, but just briefly I want to show here. This is a trap here. If we just from back here, we don't want to get too close actually. If we back from here, see what Navi's saying here. This wall is saying something. It says, if you want to see a ferry to the other world, come here. And the reason it's a trap is because, once again, Lens of Truth time. Look at that, it's showing a pit. However, it's not a bottomless pit, though. If we approach slowly, you can see there's actually a grate that we can climb down. Here, we'll just drop down here. And, see, look at that. It is showing this big ferry that wall was talking about. I don't know, it's kind of hard. The angle here is a little bit weird. I'm not sure how great it's showing up on the screen, how well you can make out that that's what it is. But it is indeed a large ferry, again with that spooky looking, I don't know, it's like a bird kind of a creature almost. It's a common motif in this dungeon. And you can hear a gold Skulltula somewhere around here. But and look at this here. We could drop down and access that area beyond this cage where the ferry is, but it is being blocked by, well, a block. So, nothing doing. We can't go this way. But I just wanted to show that that is there. Alright, so let's return to where we were. You don't have to come down here. It's totally superfluous. I was just demonstrating. And again, we'll come around this way. Oh, did the... No, I was about to say, ooh, you can just duck like that. That's an effective way of having those blades go right over you. Alright, and one more rupee, I think, is right there. I could be mistaken, but I think that you can't always duck under them. And apparently that time, it was okay. Yeah, I can't... Yeah, I think... Yeah, it looks like when we left the room for a moment there, the silver rupees did in fact reset themselves. Well, no matter... Remember, those rupees technically are worth 5 rupees, so it doesn't show for us because our wallet is full, but if you're low on rupees, then hey, every little bit helps. And to get that last one there, we're going to want a long shot up into the corner here. And we can just jump off of that platform there. That opens up a gate. And where was the gate that it opened? It wasn't here. I think it was over on this side, maybe? Yeah. Whoa! Sometimes you can roll under them, too. But, let's see. We got a tiny little chest here with a small key. Alright. I think... I seem to recall there being another chest somewhere around here that is invisible. Let's just check out these little side rooms here. Okay, that was the one that goes down. That was the one we went into to get the rupee. What about over here? Is there anything hiding in here? Nothing in there. I think it was just another rupee. Okay, apparently not. There is later on going to be another chamber that looks extremely similar to this room, and I think that's what I must have been thinking of. Okay, we just want to go into that other false wall, so we'll just sprint past this Demos. As long as we keep moving straight and steady, he won't be able to catch up with us. And here, whoops! Have to get behind Gypto, and there's a second one over here. Remember, they're basically identical to Redead. So if you can handle a Redead, you can handle a Gypto. And look at that, the third big chest. So right off the bat, we're getting all of the items pretty early on in this dungeon. So this, of course, will be the compass. And that'll be nice, too, because I won't have to second-guess myself anymore about how, you know, whether or not I'm missing any chests. Okay. And we'll get out our bombs here again. Come through the fake wall. Oh. Take out this Demos again. There we go. And we can simply bomb that third wall in the middle that wasn't actually a fake wall. I can't remember if Navi's pointing that out for some reason. We can't bomb the floor, no. Anyway, it would have been taken out with the bomb that we used to take out the Demos. So, anyway, use the key we acquired to make our way through there. And always a good idea to keep your Lens of Truth equipped in this dungeon. Okay, it's not really showing it here, but you're going to want to proceed slowly down this corridor here because there are some big Skulltulas. Remember, as an adult, we can use our long shot / hook shot on these guys here. Unlike as a child where you gotta wait for them to turn around and expose their soft, vulnerable undersides. You can also look for, again, I'm not sure how well it shows up in the recording here, but you can also look at the ground for a tiny little shadow that indicates there's something hiding up above. Alright, well, that's lovely. He's, what do you call them? Guillotines. And again, be careful of that guy in between them. Here, you can roll. I recommend rolling between them just to get yourself that little tiny bit of a speed boost to make sure that you don't accidentally get caught in the gillies. Watch for the shadows. Okay, yeah, so that's again a indicator that there's going to be a wall master somewhere in the area. Oh, there he is. We'll just move out of the way before the shadow drops on us there. Nice. Okay. Grab those rupees if you need them. And hop our way across here. Whoa, that's a fast-moving guillotine. Hop our way across here. And, oh, red bubble. That came out of nowhere. Bye! And at this point, I'm going to recommend we equip our hover boots just to make sure. I don't think it's an absolute necessity. Whoa! Yeah, see, that's the trouble with that is, again, low friction. It was hard for me to time that because I couldn't start up as fast as I normally do. But, whoa! Now we are being confronted with a Stelphos. We are most certainly going to want to have deft footing about us when we take on these guys here. Look at that. The bigger sword makes it so much easier to get around his shield. Alright, right here. I think this is where we want to re-equip our hover boots again. I'm not sure it's necessary, but it does make it a little bit easier because there's actually a bunch of invisible floors here. So it's kind of trippy if you move to them without the Lens of Truth activated because it looks like we're just flying right across. But what we're, of course, actually doing is just hovering briefly and then landing on the invisible floor. Again, look at that distance there. I don't think that's a distance that we can't jump normally without the hover boots, but whatever. Every little bit helps. I think that's the second time I've said that this video. I do have a greater range of vocabulary. Ah, yes. Okay, this is the other room that I was talking about. Only this time the scythe in the middle of the room is invisible. Activate. Lens of Truth. Alright. Let's make our way around the room here. And, let's see. I hear some keys on the walls. These guys aren't moving, so we don't have to waste arrows on them. They're easy enough to hit with our long shot. I believe there's a number of keys in this room. There's another one there. And let's see here. You can see that how the lighter colored portion of the floor indicates that that's sort of the boundary of the scythe turning around. So as long as you stay kind of on the dark side, you're basically okay. And take a dislike here. Remember, don't get too close, lest you be sucked in. And that's not pleasant for anyone. And we'll run across this way. Roll a little bit there to make our way, whoa, just out of the range of that blade. And Navi's pointing at something here. I think we can make a block appear here, if you want, with the Song of Time. You can make a time block appear. Our health is full, but should you be hurting for hearts, there you go. Now you can use that to hop up and grab those hearts. Alright. What are we missing in this room? Oh, another keys. One more keys up on that wall right there. So, take out all the enemies. And now that gate back there opens up. again, remember, every time something like that happens, a little mini cutscene or something like that, your Lens of Truth automatically gets deactivated. Don't neglect to turn it back on again, because you may find yourself walking head-on right into the spinning blades. Alright. We got our first gold Skulltula in this temple. And is one of these guys invisible? Yeah, the one on the right is invisible. But again, it still shows on our mini-map there because we got the compass. So we can even approach it until our action icon. I just want to show. I'm making this harder than it needs to be, but you can see there, you don't even need the Lens of Truth activated to be able to open it, right? Because it is technically there. It's only invisible, not, you know, intangible. Anyway, was that all that we came in here for? I think that might have been it. Basically just to get that gold Skulltula. Seems like a lot of effort to go to just for a single gold Skulltula token. But again, in the interest of a 100% complete run of the game, if you do want to get them all, you're going to have to make your way there. Alright, I think that Stalfos reappears. Yeah. We don't really need to refight him, but just for the sake of safety, because I am recording a video, I prefer not to take the risk of accidentally killing myself. Alright, here, we're going to get the hover boots here, and jump off this here just after that block on the chains falls to its lowest point. And now, when it reaches its highest point, we're going to jump off again this way. Whoa, we left that way too long. Again, I keep forgetting that you got that slow start with the reduced friction. I started running much too late. Okay, you know what? Screw the Stalfos. We're going to see if we can bypass him. Alright, jump onto it when it's at the lowest point, and then when it's at the highest point. Doesn't have to be, I guess it doesn't have to be at the absolute highest point. You can jump off as it's making its way higher. That's probably a safer way to do it. And again, just for safety's sake, re-equip your regular boots if you don't actually absolutely need them. And we'll try to take out this Beamos in the middle of these spike traps. There we go. So that time it only took one hit. There's 3 of the 5 rupees. There's the 4th one and the 5th one over this way. Excellent. Opens up that gateway. Make our way in here. And are there big Skulltulas hanging? I don't think from in this corridor, no. But we are going to need our Lens of Truth. This is kind of an interesting puzzle here. It looks like we can't make our way through the end of this corridor because of these spike traps. There's no way that we could possibly avoid them, it looks like. But, if we look here, read the sign here. Only one with the Eye of Truth will find the stone umbrella that protects against the rain of blades. It's a little bit of a riddle, but basically it refers to a hidden stone block. The stone umbrella, meaning that you can actually use the block to protect you from what's falling down. And it is actually right to our right here. If we use our Lens of Truth again, you'll see there's a hidden block, and we can actually pull it right out of the wall. So now what we can do, I can hear a gold Skulltula there in the background too. We'll pull it right to about this point here, line it up with that skull mark on the ground, and we can slowly push it forward. And what this actually does is, you can see there, it protects us from the spike traps. Funny enough, it's not like the spike traps like get stuck in the block and like sticks up the whole thing. I guess that's just one of those sort of video game things you just kind of have to accept. But we'll leave it there momentarily so we can get in here, break these pots here. And I think maybe the best idea is to push this forward just a little bit so that it blocks both the front and the back spike trap there falling from the ceiling. So now you can see we can run back this way. We've got access to the whole area now, the whole corridor. And we can take out that gold Skulltula. And now what we want to do is, oh, first let me just see if there's something over here. I don't think there's anything I'm missing. Oh, just a small chest. I think this one's just rupees, though. Oh, arrows. Okay. But now that we're at the end of the corridor, there's nothing to do in here. So what we can do now is from the other side, we can pull. So the spike trap at the front is now going to be able to fall down and hit the ground again. But as long as we can make it past this way, we should be fine. And we'll pull it here as far as we can. So it stops there. We can't pull any further. And we can actually climb up onto the block from here and hop over across this way. So now, let's use our hover boots so that we can hover across here, get these pots here, and... okay, I think this is an instance of there being a chest here, but it hasn't actually appeared. We gotta do something first for it. So what we can do, actually, is, here, I will re-equip my regular Kokiri boots momentarily. And we can actually walk on top of that trap and just get over to the other side. Hit that floor switch, and see now that chest that our compass was showing was supposed to be on the other side. That has now appeared. I think this one might just be rupees. Yeah. The other one that we made appear, that's the one we really want. And we can actually just use our long shot and hook into the chest to quickly get over. There we go. There you go, small key. So you can see why that one was actually important. Okay, we will exit back into this way, and we can ignore that BMOS. And be careful of those spike traps on the floor spinning around. And we'll come this way. Now here, activate our Lens of Truth. You can see here, not really a big deal. We could just use our hover boots to make our way across this chasm here. But the platform on the other side is on this kind of chain moving left and right here. So you're going to want to make sure your timing is right, so that you line up when you choose to hover across the chasm, and use that small key that we just got to make our way through here. Alrighty. Moving on. Once again, a dangerous room if you don't have your Lens of Truth equipped, because, ooh, giant spikies all over the place. Make sure you're always facing forward if you're unsure of your footing, because if this is your first time in this room and you're unfamiliar with the placement of those spikes, they can be very, very easy to run into, even with your Lens of Truth activated, because you can see how, you know, the range of sight within the lens is kind of narrow. And as soon as anything that's invisible passes out of that peripheral there, turns invisible again, basically. Okay, let's see. This is another one of these rupee things here. We need to collect all the rupees to open up that door there. So what we can do here is use these targets up on the wall to lift ourselves above those rupees, and then we'll simply fall down and be able to collect them that way. So, pretty simple. There's the one. Again, remember, every time we do this, our Lens of Truth gets deactivated, so remember to activate it again after you hit the floor. Okay. And I think there's a target way up on the ceiling there, yeah. There's another locked door up there, so we're going to have to get another small key in order to make our way through here, but we want to come up here anyway, though, to be able to jump across and grab that rupee. And then up onto this platform that's up top here for the last one. Alright. So we can go in here, and I believe this is where we're going to find the small key in question. Okay. So we got this big skull guy here with blue flames coming out of its head. So if we make our way up these big steps here, first just to draw your attention to behind the skull on the wall here. It's very easy to overlook. The gold... Oh, you son of a gun. You know, I heard the wings flapping, but I thought I had more time. Look at that. I'm not even going to waste arrows on you. That's how little I think of you. Alright. Anyway, what I was just saying is that Gold Skulltula is easy to overlook, so make sure to pick him up. And now there are more keys on this back wall here. I think that's what I thought I was hearing, was because I knew there were these keys on the wall, but I didn't realize that there were some actually flying around the room. So bear in mind that they can, in fact, attack you. It's probably better to have your arrows equipped. In fact, I should probably get those equipped now. Okay, what you're going to want to do here, actually, I think, this wall? No, okay, apparently this wall doesn't tell you the clue, but basically all you want to do is, you can either use your own bombs, or why waste the ammo when it's providing you with bomb flowers. You just want to throw a bomb flower right into the center, like that. And blow it to smithereens, and you will see that what blew out of there was the small key. So let's just hop down, pick it up, and just like that, we're done with this room. Do those Gyptos reappear? No. Alright. Remember to go for that target way high up on the ceiling there. Again, only the long shot would be able to reach that, so that's why it's important to hit the water temple first. Anyway, onward. Okay, now this is interesting here. We got this fan that's creating such an air current that we actually can't make our way past these spike traps. And even if we wait for them to turn off, it can still be kind of treacherous for when they turn back on again, because you can see here's another one threatening to just push us down the corridor again, and then it's going to push us into the other fan, and it's going to push us down the corridor we just came down. So this is what I'm getting at here. It is advantageous to actually equip your iron boots. That will keep you nice and cemented to the floor, and you can even stand right in front of these suckers, and they can't even move you. Well, I'm not going to waste any more time. You can just take my word for it. I was going to give you a little demonstration there, but I don't know if that's really necessary. You get the point. Here's the trick about this one, though, is because now there's a chasm we need to cross. So we're going to have to. We have no choice but to momentarily put on our hover boots, and then here, quickly before the fan starts up again, our iron boots back on again. And here, we've got fans on either side threatening to blow us off of this bridge. So again, this is also useful to use our iron boots here to keep from being blown off. And you see there's that eye trap up above on the wall there that's blowing those flames at you. But as long as you keep moving forward, you should have an easy time avoiding them. And we'll just take out this Red Dead real quick here. And... oh, is there another? Oh, there is another Red Dead. Let's see what this sign here on the wall says here. I can hear the spirits whispering in this room. Those who have sacred feet should let the wind guide them. Then they will be led to the hidden path. That's what they're saying. So that gave us an interesting clue of how to proceed. For now, though, don't miss the hidden chest that's right here if you are in need of arrows. I guess technically it wasn't really that important. But anyway, whoa. I'm just going to put on my iron boots for a second here just so that I can avoid that flame that just came at me without... oh, well, it hit me anyway. But anyway, the point is that you can see here there's a fake wall, and so we can actually get across this way. However, unfortunately, our hover boots still aren't enough for us to jump across. So what we're going to do is equip our hover boots, but then allow the fan to blow us across. And hopefully it's going to activate before that fire burns again, but apparently we still waited too long, but I guess it can't be helped. Anyway, so you can see there how the timing is a little bit tricky to get down. That fire trap up there keeps blowing down these flames and trying to hit you, and it can be tough. Whoa, it's coming right at us! It's coming right at us! Oh no! I thought it wouldn't be able to see us through the fake wall. Oh well. We got lots of health anyway. We're good to go. Okay, let's take out these Gyptos on the other side. Quickly get around. Whoa, some possessed jars. Damn it, damn it, damn it! Okay. So, killing those Gyptos makes that chest appear. However, nothing doing, just a few measly rupees. However, if you consult the compass, you will note it says there's a chest here. And again, there's a crack in the floor here, it shows, in this, like, dirt mound, basically, so we can bomb it. And then, our Lens of Truth reveals a hidden chest there. There you go. Small key. Alright. I think we're getting close to the end, folks. So, you know, it's bigger than... It's bigger than a mini dungeon, but it's probably the smallest of the rest of the regular, you know, adult-sized temples. Now look where we finally found ourselves, in that fairy room that I was showing you earlier. And if we want to, we can actually, well, actually, now that I think about it, we're going to have to pull this block. Remember, that we couldn't get into this room before because there was a block. This block blocking the path. So we can pull that out now, and now if we were so inclined, we could climb them off this grate and make our way back into the room that we were in before. If maybe we, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, that was the room we were in before, where the only thing there really was to get was a gold Skulltula, so this might be another opportunity to make your way back up to that room if you forgot to get that token. But anyway, we don't need to return that area. We just want to push this block all the way across the floor here into that slot so that we're able to actually hop up onto the block and grab that short ladder. Now, we actually have access to the top of the ferry. Now, Triforce symbol on the ground. We know what that means. Play Zelda's Lullaby. However, before we do that, don't do that just yet, because as soon as we do that, it actually activates the ferry, and it'll cause us to start drifting off, and we will miss our opportunity to grab another gold Skulltula token here. So what we can do, standing right about here, so we can see the gold Skulltula all the way up there, and Navi is indicating to us a point of interest. This is another opportunity to play Scarecrow Song. So, you can use Pierre to zip your way over here, and then grab your token. Look at that. Did I get all the tokens yet? Or actually, I think there might be one more. Yeah, we still don't have the token on our map there, so it looks like there is one more yet to find. Anyway, hop down here. Again, remember to stay to the side there. This is all, I know it looks like fog, but it is still technically treated as a bottomless pit, so you'll fall down and be respawned exactly where you fell. Where you jumped off from, I should say. Anyway, make our way back up top onto the ferry, stand here in the middle of the Triforce symbol, and play us some Zelda's Lullaby. Definitely seems like we play that song more than any other song. Except for maybe the Sun Song, depending on how much you want to mess with time in that way. But God, it's creepy. And I believe we're about to be, assaulted by some Stealthos. Try to take this guy out as quickly as you can. Here, some left to right swipes help a little bit there. And you want to take him out as quickly as you can because we are about to be ambushed by a second one. And the timing is always the same there. So if you haven't taken out the first one, the second one's not going to wait. He's going to hit you, and then they're gonna double team you. But Bigrin Sword again is an excellent weapon against those guys, as you can see. Doesn't make it totally easy. You still got to employ a little bit of swordsmanship there. Still got to make sure you're hitting them from the right angles. But okay, now that we're into this room here, this is as far as the ferry can go, and it actually is going to start to sink momentarily. So we've actually got to jump off to the side here before the ship falls into the abyss. You see there, I didn't even have time to read it. Navi shouted something at us really quickly there. barely enough time to read. It said you had to abandon ship. And if you don't make it, I think it starts you all the way back at the beginning, and you got to do that whole ferry sequence again. So make sure not to fall. That goes with that saying. I'm stating the obvious here, I realize. But okay, so we got another chasm here, and there's no way for us to get across at this point. I'm going to show you how to do that momentarily, but first we're going to come across this way because we still need to claim the boss key. That'll be in this way. Now, this is an interesting room because it looks like it's a nice open room with just these pillars, but our lens of truth will reveal it is actually a maze. So I find the best way, look at that, it looked like we were about to be attacked by that floor master. But apparently the floor master is not able to see that these walls are invisible and in fact actually exist. Look, it's still trying to make its way at us. Anyway, as I was saying, I find the best way to make our way through this is just to keep hanging left, because you see on our mini-map there in the bottom right, this is where we're entering here. You can see along the edges of this diamond-shaped room at the south, west, and north sides, there's those, looks like little alcoves. Each of those is a door. And then, of course, on the east side of the room where we're just entering, this is the door that we just came in through, right? So there's a door in each of those compass points, basically, and we want to go into each of those. So just to make sure that we don't miss any, we want to hit them sequentially. That way we'll know we you know, managed to get in all three rooms. So basically the way that I do this every time is to make sure that I'm just always hanging left every time I come to one of these junction points here. You know what? We don't even have to worry about that floor master. We can just ignore him. We just attack him there so that he doesn't bug us, because that's what this is all about. Is just making sure to get into all of these rooms here along the side here. And look here, we got an invisible floor master. Whoa, that was close. This guy, I think we will actually have to take out though. And remember, the deal with these guys is if when he splits into the small hands, you want to take them out quickly before he grows into a big one. But we didn't have much success with that, unfortunately. Hop out of the way there if you got bigger and sword equipped and you can't block with your shield. And that's an effective tactic there. Just block them all in the corner so they can't get away from you. That always is effective. Alright, we took out the floor master. We got the little chest up here. I'm just going to use my lens of truth here to make sure there's not like any stupid holes in the floor that we can fall down in. Okay, it looks like not. It's just slightly reminiscent of a room in the bottom of the well, and it pulls that trick on you. There's a hole right in front of the chest. Okay, small key obtained. Move on to the second room. Again, we'll just keep bearing left. So we'll go this way now. Attack this floor master again, just long enough so that it's not really a threat to us, and then we can avoid those smaller hands. Make our way into here. Aha! Okay. Any flying keys around in here? No? Okay, good. Because this is that second room that I was telling you about that was similar to the first one where we had to throw bombs into the big skull with the blue flame in order to get the small key. But now you can see it's the same. It's the exact same deal. It's just a little bit of an added trickery to it, is that there's three and they rotate around this on this carousel here, so it can be a little bit harder to get the bomb placed in. Again, like the similar room, there is another gold Skulltula on the back wall here, so don't overlook that one. And I think that might be the last one. Let me consult my map here to make sure I've got that icon there on my map. Yes, I do. So that is all Skulltulas collected now. And oh, look at that. Apparently there's no keys in this room, so I don't gotta worry about that. So that's good. Alright, now if I recall, we don't actually necessarily need to blow up all three of them. Because the key is in fact just in a single one. Okay, so that one looked like it just contained arrows. So we're gonna have to try a second one. Ah! I had to throw it before the fuse was gonna go. Otherwise I would have liked to take an extra second. And I think that might have been it. hop down here and see? Oh, no, it's just bombs. That's to that. Bombs and a small key apparently look very similar from afar. Okay, so we just had bad luck on that. We're going to have to bomb all three. As you can see, it's not terribly challenging. And we got all the rupees here. Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute now. Was there not a small key to find in here? Was that really all it was? Was just ammo and rupees? Well, I guess we did get the small key in the last room. Okay, so apparently the only real reason to come into this room was for ammo if you're really hard up for it, rupees if you're really hard up for it, and to get that gold Skulltula token. We are collecting gold Skulltulas, so again, not a total waste, but that room was less important than I thought it was. Okay, anyway, remember, hang left so that you don't get confused in this little maze here. And this will be the final room. This one here, uh-oh. Spike traps moving in on us. This could be the end, ladies and gentlemen. This could be the end. But no fear, we have Din's Fire. And we know we have Din's Fire because we needed it in order to even enter the dungeon in the first place. So if you simply activate that before we get crushed, this will make short work of these wood-based traps. Oh, look at that. That Redead on the other side even caught fire, too. And did just enough damage to only make it require a single hit of our sword to finish him off. Apparently, the fire didn't reach that guy, though. Alright. And as you can see, finally, we have obtained the boss key in this gold chest over here. You can see in that little pot that we smashed there was a big magic jar, so in case you're totally empty on magic and you won't be able to use Din's Fire, you're going to want to make sure to break that pot and give yourself just enough magic power to be able to use it. Alright, you got the boss key. Now you can get inside the chamber where the boss lurks. Okay! I completed everything there is to do in here. Let's skedaddle. Get our Lens of Truth re-equipped again. And again, bear left. Whoa, avoid that floor master, obviously. And here we are, back out whence we came. Alright, now here is how we make our way across here, now that we have both the boss key as well as an additional small key. We're actually going to want to equip our fairy bow. You can see here, this is sort of something that tips it off here, is there's this weird looking thing here. You might not know what this is all about, but if you pay close attention, you may notice that what it actually is the broken off head of this other similar pillar that's on the other side. So that's sort of your hint that basically that pillar was at one point lying down horizontally and was being used as a footbridge across this chasm, but it has since broken off. So we need to knock this pillar down, and the way we do that is, if you notice, there are some bomb flowers at the base. So simply aim across with your bow at any of those bomb flowers to blow them up and destabilize the base, so the whole thing, boom, topples over. Instant footbridge. And if you are fresh out of arrows, I believe there's some in these pots here. Yep, there you go. So again, that would be another clue for you. If you didn't know what you were supposed to do, the fact that you're picking up arrows is an indication that you're meant to use them in some way, right? Okay, we can make our way over here, and now, again, we can just make our way into here now if we want with the small key, but I'm going to show you this here too, if you were, again, hurting for some health. We can play, I think, the Song of Time again, and another time block can appear. Yep, there we go. Time block appears, so you can grab that extra heart up there if you need, and then, even from here, I think you can play the Song of Time again, and it will simply move that time block. I don't think that it really showed it, but it was originally kind of hovering up in the air. So all it's actually really doing is just simply returning it to its original position. Oh, but maybe not. Maybe not. Okay, maybe it's not Song of Time then. Maybe it's Scarecrow Song? Let me try that. Yeah, it is. Oh, there you go. So, you can now grab yourself a couple of extra hearts. If you need. Anyway, moving on, and we are just about at the boss room. Let me just consult my map here to make sure that we didn't miss any chests along the way. I don't think that we did. Nope, got everything. So yeah, just one more room before the final boss room. Use our small key to enter here, and this looks a lot more treacherous than it actually is, because see, there's the boss room all the way on the other side. So naturally, as by now you should have learned to be getting into the habit of, use our Lens of Truth. And look at that. Some handy-dandy platforms. Now, they're still kind of oddly shaped. It can be a little bit tricky to get your footing onto, so I recommend getting the hover boots out here, just to make sure that we can make these jumps here. I think that was so far you're going to need your hover boots, more or less. And then right about here. There we go. All right. Back with the regular booties, and I think what we're gonna want is our fairy bow again equipped. And I'm just gonna save here before we go in and tackle the dungeon boss. This is an interesting boss. You'll see what I mean immediately. This guy doesn't say anything to us, does he? No. Okay, so all we gotta do is drop down in the middle. Boss time. Oh. Giant hands. It looks like this platform we're standing on is a giant drum. Oh, disembodied floating giant hands. Whoa! That is a creepy looking thing. Phantom Shadow Beast Bongo-Bongo. Alright. So, again, Lens of Truth time. In order to show his hidden main body there, if we use our arrows... Uh-oh, see, we weren't close enough here. I was gonna say, see if we can quickly, let's see if I can lock onto his main body there. Okay, apparently we can. But basically you want to stun both his hands real quickly before they both manage to hit you there. It's best to get him while his palms are open like that. When he makes a clenched fist, your arrows can't really get to him there. But you can see there, Bongo-Bongo, boss of the Shadow Temple, revived from the well. Look at it with the Eye of Truth. Okay, so now that both the hands are stunned, that now gives us the opportunity to lock onto his center there. And, oh crap, I'm taking too long with my explanations. But bottom line is, you can see his eye there doesn't become exposed until you stun both his hands, and then you can stun his main red eye there in the center, and then you can wade in with your sword. And jumping attacks with your bigger sword will help. And again, we need the Lens of Truth as our best friend here. So you're going to want to try to pick up as much magic jars as you can. Again, never a bad idea to come into these dungeons with some green potions. That might help you. I find with the beating of the drum kind of throw you off when it... whoa! Try to sidestep out of the way there. Took too long once again. But I find trying to hit him with the arrow while you're up in the air like that is the best way to secure your aim, I find. One more hit should do it. Oh, there we go. A couple more hits. Oh, goodness. Threw him into a bit of a frenzy there. Oh. Oh, reverting back into the creepy shadow form that we saw when he busted out of the well and attacked Sheik. good riddance to him. Alright. New heart container. Excellent. Can't remember. Do I have fairies? I think I got some fairies. Okay, that's good. Yeah. I was going to say, I was getting not necessarily low on health, but lower on health than I normally get. That would have been embarrassing if I, like, totally died at this boss battle, but I was good. I got some fairies. Alrighty. Put another dungeon behind us. First, though, as is customary when beating a temple, another return visit to the Chamber of Sages. And what do we have here? Oh, it's Impa. Remember, Sheik told us that Impa went to the Shadow Temple to try to seal the evil. The boy with the noble Zelda's Ocarina. As I expected, you have come. I am Impa, one of the Sheikah. I am Princess Zelda's caretaker, and I am also the sage who guards the Shadow Temple. We Sheikah have served the royalty of Hyrule from generation to generation as attendants. However, so an entire race of people are all servants? That's got a weird tone to it. But okay. On that day 7 years ago, Ganondorf suddenly attacked, and Hyrule Castle surrendered after a short time. Ganondorf's target was one of the keys to the Sacred Realm, the hidden treasure of the royal family, the Ocarina of Time. My duty bound me to take Zelda out of Ganondorf's reach. When last I saw you as we made our escape from the castle, you were just a lad. Now I see that you have become a fine hero. There's nothing to worry about. The princess is safe now. Oh, that's good to know. That's like the only news that we've heard about Zelda since coming to the future time. Soon you'll meet Princess Zelda face to face, and she will explain everything. That's good. We got a lot of questions. That is when we, the 6 wise ones, will seal up the evil king and return peace to Hyrule. I have to stay here. You go to Princess Zelda's side and protect her on my behalf. Now I put my power, which should be helpful to you, into this medallion. Alright, new medallion time. Ooh. Very nice. You received the Shadow Medallion. Impa awakens as a sage and adds her power to yours. Excellent! Please look out for the princess. And that is how we do that.
Listen!